Hello and welcome back to TLDW, the show where I sum up movies in a short amount of time. Today, I am finally covering Treasure Planet. You might be asking, what do you mean by finally? When I first did this about 6 years ago, someone asked me to cover Treasure Planet for their birthday. Sorry it's taken me this long. Anyway, let's get into it. This is our boy. He's called Jim. He has other names, but they don't matter. He's on his planet. He's having a good old read of this 3D book about the Captain Flint and the Treasure Planet where he keeps all of his gold. And he's like, I think it's real. And his mum's like, no, it's not. So then he grows up. He still thinks it's real, but now he's cool because he skates around on like a weird windsurf board, gets caught by the police, not great, gets taken back to see his mum. His mum owns a bar. This is what his mum looks like. So he goes back to that bar. The police are like, listen, we've taken away his surfboard, his skiff, but if we catch him again, we're sending him to juvie. And she's like, mate, don't do that. And she tries to talk with him. And he's like, listen, I want to be what I'm going to be, so I'm going to be what I want to be. And then he goes up to the roof, chills for a bit. As he's up to the roof, he overhears his mum talking to the family friend, Dr. Doppler. I don't remember his first name, doesn't matter. So he overhears a conversation between these two. She's like, he's a fucking genius, but his dad left, and he's been different ever since. And he's like, listen, it's rough. I know, but you're doing great, and you're a great mum. And I'm sorry he's so difficult. And he's like, oh man, I'm only difficult because people don't understand me, you know? That's what he sounds like. As he's up on the roof, there's a crashed ship nearby. So he's like, right, I'll go check that out. In it, there's a pirate, and the pirate's like, listen, watch out for the cyborg. So he takes the pirate back to the sort of the bar. They're like, listen, we got to look after this guy. We got to make sure he's okay. And the guy's like, listen, I'm just going to fucking die in a minute. So here, have this thing in my chest. Don't let the cyborg get it. Live your life, mate. I'm fucking dead. And then he's like, oh man, this ball. What a great ball. It's got lines on it. The inn, the pub, gets shot to shit by a load of pirates. And they're like, fuck, time to run. So they run away on Doppler's thing. They manage to escape with the weird treasure thing. While they're at his estate, Jim manages to unlock the thing. It turns into a huge map of the universe, and it shows where the treasure planet is. And Doppler's like, this is pretty sick, I want to go there. Jim's like, this is very sick, I want to go there. His mum is like, don't, you might die. And after a brief back and forth, she's like, all right, fine. Doppler, look after him. So they leave his mum behind, and they're going on their adventure. First, they go to the spaceport. It's a very cool spaceport. They meet some interesting characters, and then they meet their crew. We have the captain, and we have the first mate. This is first mate Arrow. That's the captain, that's the first mate. He's also hired a crew. In the crew are these two, well, specifically just for now, this individual. Not to judge by appearances, but that person looks like they're gonna do evil things and betray you. So he's talking about the treasure, and as he's about to sort of say what it is, Captain's like, shut your fucking mouth. And they go to the captain's quarters where they discuss it, and they're like, listen, I don't trust this crew you've hired. They're a pile of shit. Don't mention the treasure in front of them. They'll probably kill you. She assigns Jim to help the chef. The chef is a man by the name of Silver. We'll come back to why he's probably evil in a minute. Silver is a cyborg, and so he's like, sus, you look like a cyborg, and I know a friend who knew a cyborg, and he wanted to go here, and he's like, I don't know, I've never heard of him before. And then when Jim leaves, he's like, oh, best be keeping an eye on this one. Oh, he's also got a really cool pet, I forgot to mention. Morph, what a guy, a little shape-shifting ball. We're just gonna jump to where the ship flies away, and the crew are kind of acting a bit suspicious, and Jim's sort of observing it. At one point, this bug, shithead, threatens to attack him, but Silver gets in the way and is like, listen mate, chill out. And then later, the whole crew has a meeting without Jim, and it turns out Silver is the captain of the crew, and they're gonna stage a mutiny later, because they know they have the map to the treasure planet, and they want to come with. So once they get to a certain point, there's gonna be a mutiny. Silver just makes Jim work as hard as he fucking can. So just runs him ragged, so he can't do anything, he can't focus on anything else. He just mostly sleeps and works. And over the time they spend together, the two start to bond, they connect, because he lacks a father, he lacks a son. So they start to get closer, and Silver talks him up and is like, you're gonna be something amazing one day, Jimbo. And Jim's like, thanks mate. So yeah, they're having that conversation, and then shit hits the fan. They go into a black hole for a bit, but then they manage to get out of the black hole. But in the confusion, that bug arsehole, because basically they've got to tie down lifelines so they don't all fly off the ship. So this guy, at a certain point, when Arrow flies off the ship, they cut his lifeline. So Arrow is killed. And then because Jim was asked to check the lifelines and make sure they were all secure, Jim is blamed for it. Jim is very sad about this whole situation. He blames himself. So Silver gives him, a nice reassuring speech, which this guy overhears and starts accusing him of being soft. Some horseplay happens in the night with Morph, and old Jim ends up in a barrel in the kitchen. The crew and Silver have a confrontation, and Silver ends up saying some very mean things about poor Jimbo, who hears it all and takes it to heart, and he's quite sad, and also realizes Silver is a traitor, which is the main thing. So quickly goes to sort sort of tell the captain and Doppler. They go and quickly grab the captain. Captain, Doppler, and Jim are like, there's about to be a mutiny, it's time to fucking leave. And as they do so, Jim manages to knife Silver in the leg, and Silver's like, right, we're doing the mutiny, let's do it. So Jim gets the map, they all run, Morph comes with them. So they're like, right, we've got to get off this boat. So they go down to get a lifeboat. Morph is with them for a bit. Morph manages to take the map off of Jim. Jim's like, whoa, 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 that's mine, I want it back. So he goes to get it back, but then he finds it in a pile of ropes and he's like, all right, I've got the map. They hop on the boat, they get the fuck out of there. The ship is overtaken by the other pirates. They get shot down on the way down, and they crash on the surface of Treasure Planet, which, by the way, they found. They did find Treasure Planet, they're here. So that's why everything's kicking off. So they've got the map, they do crash into the ground, and then as they're like, thank God we've got the map. Turns out they don't have the map, it's Morph, and the map is still up on the ship, and they're like, well, we're in a bit of trouble here. And also, in the entire confusion, poor Captain Amelia has been shot, and she is quite wounded. So Doppler's looking after the captain, and Jim's like, right, I've got to go find somewhere to stay. While he's off looking for somewhere to stay, he finds this man. It's Ben, and by man I mean robot. Ben takes him back to his house, and also they take the other two back to the house because it's somewhere to rest and stay. While they're there, they try to figure out like a game plan of what they're going to do to get the map back. And it turns out the pirates have come down, and they want to parley. Silver and Jim have a chat. Silver's like, mate, we're so close now, let's just share the loot, it doesn't matter. But Jim is like, listen, I heard what you said, you're an asshole, mate. He's like, listen, I only said that because otherwise they kill me, because, you know, I've gone soft. Jim's like, listen, doesn't matter, treasure's mine, you can't have any. He's like, oh, you little, I'm gonna bloody kill you. And they separate, and then Jim's like, right, what are we gonna do? And Ben's like, well, we could use the back door. And Jim's like, great, let's do that. So him, Ben, and Morph, they all go back up to the ship using the vessel that the pirates brought down. But guess who's on the ship? That's right, it's Bug Boy. Bug Boy's on the ship, little bastard. But as they're on the ship fighting the Bug Boy, there is a bit of confusion. He's meant to be up there turning off the cannons so they're safe from being nuked from orbit, because that's what Silver kind of wants to do, is just nuke them from orbit. So he's trying to turn off the cannons, but in the process turns off anti-gravity, and Bug Bastard floats off into space and dies. And they do get the map, and so they go back down to see Doppler and the captain. They've been captured by Silver and the pirates. And he's like, give me the map or I'll kill your mates. And he's like, listen, I'll give you the map. Gives them the map, can't unlock it. Jim then unlocks it for him just before they take it, relocks it. He's like, listen, you can't find it without me, I want to come with. And he's like, fine, you can come with, but we're going to bring all the hostages as well. So if you mess up, we'll just kill them. And Jim's like, mate, I'm not happy with it. They start exploring Treasure Planet, following the map, leads them to a spot with nothing there. And they're like, what the fuck? Where are we going? What is this? But it turns out there's a hole in the floor with a perfect space for the map. So they pop it there, and it makes this massive portal that can go anywhere in the universe. And they're like, that's how we did it. That's how we stole all the loot of 1,000 worlds. And so Jim figures out, right, how do we get to the vault? Vault's in the center of the planet, mate. So he clicks on the planet using the interface. Portal opens up, and they can see the loot. They step through, also through a very obvious tripwire. So they trigger some sort of trap while all the pirates are obsessing over the loot. Jim's like, right, come on, Ben, we're gonna get out of here. They go over to, there's a vessel down there, there's Captain Flint's vessel where Captain Flint's corpse is. So they get the ship working. They try to escape with all the treasure on it. Silver sees this, and also the planet starts combusting as well. That's another thing. So he's like, shit, I'm gonna get on that ship and I'm gonna leave with him, and we're just gonna have a great time. As he gets on the ship, Jim just goes flying off of it. Silver's like, grab my hand, Jimbo, I'm gonna save you. And Jim can't quite reach him. And so Silver's like, you know what, fuck it. And he lets go of the treasure, and all of the treasure is obliterated. That's rough, but he saves Jim. And Jim's like, why would you do this? It's like, listen, it's fine. It's a lifelong obsession. I'll get over it. These two manage to escape their bonds, fuck up the guards that were guarding them, so they've got their ship back. These two manage to escape. They all get on the ship, and they're like, right, let's get the fuck out of here. But the planet is exploding now, and they're about to get exploded as well. They need to get the fuck out of there. And then Jim's like, right, you know what? We're not going to escape the explosion in time, especially now that like half of our ship has been destroyed. I'm going to get on another surfboard, and I'm going to get down there, and we're going to portal away because we still got the portal mechanism. And they're like, right, fuck it, let's do it. So Jim goes for it, manages to push the button that takes him back home. They've done it, they've escaped. And also, Captain is impressed with Jim. He's like, maybe I'll have some words with my mates at the academy, see if we can sort you out. You know, you're quite a clever young lad. Silver manages to escape, but not before having a conversation with Jim. And Jim is like, listen, old man, I'm going to let you go, and hopefully we'll see each other again. And he's like, I hope so too. And here's some money to open a new pub with your mum. Indeterminate amount of time later, Morph has stayed with Jim to keep an eye on him because that's what Silver wanted. These two have 3 children, which means they have been having constant unprotected sex. There's a knock at the door, and it's the police. But this time, he's wearing a fancy uniform. I guess he made it into the academy, man. And that is Treasure Planet. What a film. I hope you enjoyed this episode of TLDW. If you did, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment with a film you'd like me to cover in the future, because I am always looking for new ideas. Goodbye.